What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're kind of right in the middle of our Black Friday sale. You can hear Ethan grinding behind me. We're doing everything we can to get the orders out as quickly as possible because we've had a lot of them. We always get flooded this time of year. A lot of people taking advantage of the discounts on the website. So if you haven't checked it out, head on over to rock-solid-motorsports.com. And on the home page, I've got the picture that's got all the details, the discount codes, all that. So make sure to check that out. But the main reason of this video, I wanted to kind of start an update video on Mike Young's Mustang behind me here on the lift. It's a 2014 S197 car. It's a stick shift car. And a couple of years ago, we did a turbo build on this. This is a full street car, air conditioned, you know, every luxury. It's got a 6-point roll bar in it, I think, but you can see the turbos in the bumper there, kind of slick. Rusty's car's parked underneath it, so I can't get too close, but so we did all this a couple of years ago, and he took this car, and he's one of these guys that goes to the track Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, everywhere he can go. So for several years solid, this thing's seen the track sometimes 3 times a week, and he really dialed it in. I mean, I think this car is like 4,200 pounds or something like that, and he's running 850s at 180 plus, and that's doing something. And you know, for what the car weighs, he did break several things on it. The car did have full exhaust on it. It doesn't now, but it had the mufflers, the, you know, all that stuff. We tied the turbo system into all that on the first setup. But he's wanting to shed some weight on the car, make it a little bit easier on the drivetrain. He's broke the rear end or the axle tubes one time, about drove the rear tires up into the quarters, and he's broke some stuff in the drivetrain. But as far as the engine and the stuff that we did up there, it's held up great. It's took all the abuse, and we're just gonna lighten it up a little bit and do the exhaust out the front bumper like a conventional turbo setup like most people do. But another thing that we're gonna be doing is swapping out the intercoolers. Now, we did a really nice air to water, which is sitting here on the bench. This is a twin bell cores, but all this went up in his factory bumper and worked really well. But now that he's kind of backing out of the racing as much, just because, you know, life changes, and he says he's getting older and he don't want to spend as much time on the track and wants to be able to drive the car more. So we're swapping over to an air-to-air, which will be an exact copy template of what this air-to-water is. Same, let me get the camera in here, same top tank as far as the outlets and everything. It'll hook directly up to everything that he's got going on. I've just got to get it welded together. I want to make sure it fit before I welded everything together. But this will be more suited for the street. This will also allow more airflow to get to his radiator and AC condenser, because it was pretty much completely blocked off with the air to water setup, which he was still able to drive it. He drove it everywhere, but this will keep it a lot cooler on the street. So right now I've got this tacked up. I'm going to weld this together and start getting this ready to go on the car. On this setup, we used the bumper, or the crash bumper, bolted up as tabs because we could weld directly to the core. With this, we're not going to be able to do that, so I'm going to get it welded up, then we're going to have to mock it up and see what we're going to have to do about hanging it on the bumper. So we got that, and he also wants us to block off the exhaust holes in the back, which Ethan started messing with that today a little bit, but he wants us to block those off and kind of make it look like it's kind of filled in. So we're kind of playing with that a little bit. We got to build a brace for his seat inside going back to the roll bar, and I think that's about it. So let's get to welding this intercooler. So now that we got the intercooler welded up, we've got it mocked up on the car, and earlier today I had Ethan work on making some brackets where it could bolt to the end of the frame horns, just like the original air to water did that was on the setup before. So these are just handmade aluminum brackets. We broke them in the brake, and pretty simple to do. We got them in place, got the intercooler leveled up, hooked up to everything, and we're going to come in here with the welder and tack everything in place, which I might actually just trace this thing. I'm not sure what I'll do, but get them tacked in place, weld them up, and then we're going to send this and this little plate that he made to kind of deflect the rain, because in his little hood vents there, rain was coming in and getting inside of this. The few times he'd be caught in the rain, so he built that to kind of keep the water out of his catch can. So we're going to send that and the intercooler to powder coating and get them fine texture black like the rest of his setup here. So now that we've got the intercooler done and it's off to powder coating, we're started on the down pipes now, or the front exit pipes. And we've got our holes marked here already where we're going to cut. We've actually got the pipes kind of twisted around there, aimed in the right direction on both sides. We use some tight radius bends to go around here. Now the whole point of doing this is so he can put a street tire back on here, plus obviously getting rid of the weight and stuff too. But with the exhaust running through the suspension like it had to before, he couldn't run a wide street tire. So with this, that's keeping it up here out of the way of the tire, and he'll be able to run his street tires again. So got these mocked up, got our holes marked to cut, and what I did, I just took me a piece of metal, made a mark on the bottom of it where the bumper edge is, and just held it up here where I kind of wanted it to go on this side, and then I just flipped it around as my template and done it on the other side as well. So easy way to lay something out if you've got a bumper that's got some true points like this where you can lay it and it's the same angle and stuff on both sides. Easy way to kind of transfer your hole, get it the same on both sides without having to do a bunch of measuring. So now we're going to get the hole saw on the drill and chop holes in this bumper. Let's go. So everything is mocked up now, and this silver Sharpie line around here is where we're going to sand the bumper back to. That way the pipe has no chance of really touching the plastic if it shakes around or anything while it's driving, or the turbo shake or anything, which it shouldn't, but it will vibrate a little bit. These are the holes where the trim ring is going to bolt in. Already put that up there and got that pattern set up. The wide bands are going to go kind of right here. It's kind of the only place for them because the tire is going to move right here, so we can't have them really anywhere else unless we want to put them way up here, and I don't think we have enough cord to reach there. Other side pretty much mirrors. and we got it coming out there. And I will clean up these edges to make them perfectly even with the bumper, you know, after everything's welded and everything at the end, because that's why I left a little bit sticking out, just so I could get it squared up after it was all said and done. So probably come in the morning and weld everything up. I gotta go to a little Christmas play tonight from one of my daughters, so we'll come back then. So on our way back from lunch, we seen the guy that runs a powder coating place up the street. He was out in the middle of the road loading a truck, and I stopped in and asked him if our intercooler was done, and he said, yeah, just go up there and grab it. So we walked in there and got it. We've done a great job on it. This is fine texture black. You know, really resistant to getting dirty. Holds up really good, really durable. Got the downpipes welded, you seen on the time lapse. Got the O2 bungs in there. So now we're ready to pretty much put the car back together. Probably going to go ahead and mount the trim rings and stuff before I put any of this stuff on. That way I ain't got to take anything back off. So we'll get those holes drilled, get those mounted up, get the hole trimmed out bigger, and then we'll install all this stuff. Okay, we got everything put back together now. Everything's transferred over to this intercooler. This is why I love having everything that we do as far as anything aluminum in a CAD drawing, because all we had to do was pull the file up, make some modifications, make an exact footprint of the air to water that we built for it before, in an air-to-air version. The only thing that really even had to be made was these tabs, which didn't take Ethan long to get those mocked up. But everything fits exactly like it did with the air to water. So worked out great. It should stay a little bit cooler now that the air can pass through here and get to the radiator. Remember when it had the air to water on it over there, pretty much all of this was completely blocked off, no airflow at all. The only airflow that could come through was this top little portion. So now we got airflow that can pass through here and help keep the lower portion of the AC condenser and the radiator cool. So hopefully that'll help his driving temperatures a little bit in the summertime. He could still drive it in the heat of the summer, but he said the temperatures were getting like 220, 225, something like that, which is about the range of OEM vehicles anyway, some of them, but not what performance guys really want to see. So we're gonna get the bumper put back together, get the downpipes put on, and then all that we'll have left to do is make that little seat brace, and this project will be wrapped up. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I know it's been taking a while for me to get videos out, but we've really been trying to fill our Black Friday orders, and that's been taking a lot of time. But Mike is wrapped up here. I'm not going to film the seat brace because you know what a seat brace is. It's nothing I feel like waiting another week to post the video about. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one up this weekend so y'all can enjoy the content. So let me know what you think. And we've got some more exciting projects coming up. See you guys.